Gucci Mane, man. He built one of the most important rap labels of the last decade. He discovered Pooh Shiesty, he put on Big Scarr, and he gave careers to over a dozen artists out of Atlanta when nobody else would. And in the last 2 years, not even 2 years, artists started dying. Artists started going to prison, and his own label's books were a disaster. He dropped almost his entire roster. And then the one artist he kept, the one he bet everything on, allegedly walked into a recording studio with the AK-47 and robbed him at gunpoint. This is the story of how Gucci Mane's empire collapsed and why nobody saw it coming. To understand how far 1017 Records has fallen, man, you don't know peak 1017 Records. Gucci Mane has been building this label since the early 2000s. It started as So Icy Entertainment, evolved into Brick Squad, and then the 1017 Eskimo. Then the new 1017. Every era had a different name but the same mission. Find raw talent out of Atlanta, put it on record, and make it global. The list of artists who came through Gucci's world read like a trap music hall of fame. Waka Flocka Flame, whose debut album Flockavelli basically defined a generation of Atlanta trap. You had Young Thug, Future, Migos. These weren't all artists Gucci signed directly, but they're part of the ecosystem he helped build, the culture he created. And then in 2020, he relaunched the label again, the new 1017. And the crown jewel of that era was Pooh Shiesty. Back in Blood with Lil Durk dropped in 2020. That shit was hot as hell, it went platinum. Pooh Shiesty's debut mixtape moved over 50,000 units in its first week. He had the streets, and he had the streaming numbers. He had the look, and I think Gucci realized then he had found his next star. And then everything went wrong. For Gucci and the 1017 label, it really started with the legal cases. First, Pooh Shiesty, Gucci's new biggest artist, was arrested in 2021, pleaded guilty in 2022 to a federal firearm conspiracy charge, sentenced to 63 months. Just like that, gone. Foogiano, another 1017 artist, arrested for cutting off his own ankle monitor while on probation, sentenced to 5 years federal, gone. Hot Boy West, sentenced to 15 years across 10 counts, including violent crimes against women and children. Gone. Think he had another guy, what's his name, bro? Matt Critter. First degree murder. Gone. And then not only was it just the legal cases here, then the death started. December 2022. Enchanting, one of the few female voices on the 1017 roster, died of a drug overdose. Rest in peace. She was only 26 years old. Then in June 2024, Big Scarr, one of the most beloved and charismatic artists on the entire roster, dead at 23, also from a drug overdose. Man, I think Gucci really loved Big Scarr because even after his death, he released his posthumous album out of respect. 2 artists dead, 4 artists in federal prison, and the label's still running. And in October 2024, Gucci went on Instagram from his car. He said he just reviewed his label's profit and loss statement, and the numbers weren't working. So he made a decision. He dropped almost his entire remaining roster. Big Fizzle, Big Walk Dog, Bresden, Kato 2X, Lai Rai, Lil Zay, FTO Set, TLE Cinco, they all got released from their contract, free to go find deals elsewhere. He kept only 2 artists now, Pooh Shiesty and Foogiano, both of whom were sitting in federal prison when he made the announcement. They couldn't even hear it. Now here's where the story gets deeper than most people are covering. While Pooh Shiesty was locked up, Unable to perform, unable to put out music, unable to earn, his catalog kept making money. Streams kept running, royalties kept coming into 1017 Records, and that boy Gucci was probably sitting up on his high chair chilling. And according to reports, Gucci Mane's label made roughly $25 million off Pooh Shiesty's music while he was sitting in a federal cell. And mind you, I think right before Pooh got locked up, he had dropped his debut album. Man, that shit was gas too. But think about it, 25 million, and Pooh saw a fraction of it, if anything close to what he was owed. Excuse me. Now think about what was happening at the same time on Gucci's end. He's reviewing his P&L, and the numbers are bad. He's dropping his entire roster because the label isn't profitable enough. But his most profitable artist, the one whose music is generating millions in passive revenue, is locked up and has no power to negotiate or even walk away. But once Pooh came home in late 2025, you know his ass wanted out of that deal. Whether the conversation happened formally, through lawyers, or not at all, something broke down completely. And what allegedly followed was one of the most dramatic moments in recent rap history. His own label boss, an AK-47, a wedding ring taken off a man's finger, signed contract termination paperwork, and now Gucci Mane has no Pooh Shiesty, no real roster, a snitch label from the streets, and a label that exists in name only. Everything he built, gone. And now when I look at these labels, I'm like, these motherfuckers are no different from a fucking NBA team. Cause how the hell is Gucci gonna rebuild this shit? Or what do y'all think? Is that shit, is 1017 finished? Like, I don't know who the hell he's gonna build up. I mean, Pooh, Foogiano, man. It's gonna be tough to find some new artists, especially in this era of rap. But the pessimistic case is strong. His biggest star is facing federal kidnapping charges that could put him away for life. Foogiano is still dealing with legal issues. The artists he dropped are scattered. 2 of his artists are dead, like I mentioned before, and his reputation in the streets has taken a real hit over the snitching allegations. And he's starting over with basically no roster and no clear next move. More than that, the story of 1017 from the outside looking in right now is this. Your label boss might pocket millions off you and your catalog while you're locked up. And if you try to do something about it, he might help the feds identify you. That is a very hard pitch to any artist with real options. But here's what people keep forgetting about Gucci Mane. He's actually been here before, multiple times. He went to federal prison himself in 2013, came out a new man in 2016, got clean, transformed his life, got married, lost all that weight, and launched the new 1017 and found Pooh Shiesty, the biggest signing of his career. And I'm gonna be the first to say it, bro, that comeback was real. Nobody believed in it, and he did it anyways. And the thing about Gucci Mane that never changes, even when everything around him is falling apart, is his eye for talent. The list of artists who've been through his world and became stars is genuinely long. Waka Flocka, Young Thug's early connection to the 1017 ecosystem, Pooh Shiesty before all of this, even the artists who left 1017 on bad terms mostly credit Gucci with giving them their foundation. For better or worse, the house that Guwap built, the South's most influential rap boot camp, that reputation doesn't disappear overnight. He also said publicly, after dropping his roster, that he's still looking for new talent, still hunting, and he still wants to find the next star that's going to take 1017 to the moon. The question is whether the next star wants to be found by him. Gucci Mane is one of the most important figures in the history of Atlanta trap music. That is not up for debate at all. What he built mattered. What 1017 Records contributed to the genre is real. But right now, as it seems, 1017 Records is a label with no meaningful roster, a founder whose street credibility is in the rudder, And the one artist who was supposed to carry everything into the next era, allegedly facing the rest of his life in federal prison. Free Pooh. The empire didn't collapse in one moment. It was a slow bleed, legal cases, overdoses, a P&L that stopped making sense. Then what happened recently, the robbery at gunpoint by his own artists. And then diss tracks and that followed with that snitch label that's going around, which I might agree with. I ain't gonna lie, let me not go off script, but what can I say? That being said though, Gucci Mane has rebuilt before, but this might be the hardest hole he's ever had to climb out of. Pause, what the fuck? I want to know what you think though. Let me know, y'all. Is 10-17 finished for good? I think Gucci Mane got a good eye for this shit, bro. I think he has one more in him. He's a legend in his own right, even if he's a rat now. Drop it in the comments. You know, let me know if you fuck with this video, man. I was trying to make a follow-up to my last video, go more in depth on this topic. So let me know if you enjoyed it. I'm out, man. Thank you for watching, as always.
Yeah, it's freezing out here. We in Iceland. Yeah, this is my room. This the Fountain of Youth right here. What the fuck? Bro, what the fuck? This water hot as hell, man. Bro, I'm in the lagoon, dog. I'm talking about, what the fuck? Man, this shit hot as fuck, man. This ain't no pool. That boy grew up in the lagoon. Hey, what the fuck? Don't no polar bear, no shit come down out the rock, because this shit outside.